And for this matchup, we're going to boring Indiana. That is the Bills versus the Colts. Bills being favored by 4 points and the over-under being 47.5. Bills are coming off a win against the Miami Dolphins. They needed a game-winning field goal, 61-yard field goal to win that game. I had Dolphins plus 6 points. So it was a good win for me. But the Bills won, so a win's a win. But in that win, they did get beat up. Their starting defensive end, he went on injured reserve. Amari Cooper is questionable for the Colts game with a wrist injury. And the other starting wide receiver, the rookie, Coleman, he's also questionable for this game. So he's beat up as well, so you pay attention to that. Bills are having a hard time stopping the run. Their secondary is really great, so they're playing a Colts team. I'm just mentioning that because Jonathan Taylor is one of the top 10 running backs in the league, so that might come in effect here. So they're good secondary, but bad at covering the run, stopping the run, that is. They get Von Miller back this game with help, especially since they lost their starting DN. Actually, he played last week as well, so he's playing again this week, but he'll have more responsibility since they lost their DN. So Von Miller will help. He's going to get more playing time. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The Colts, I'm pretty sure everybody thought that the Colts would have put up a better fight against the Vikings, especially since Joe Flacco was starting. But they looked terrible against the Vikings. Joe Flacco had, I believe, 2 or 3 interceptions, no less than 2 interceptions for sure. And you could throw on the Vikings, and they didn't look good. I think they only put 13, 14 points up against the Vikings. So not a good showing by Joe Flacco. I should know. I had the over in that game as my best bet. I thought two teams would have scored on each other. Michael Pittman is out for this game. So one of their best wide receivers. I don't know if the guy's one of the best wide receivers anymore. He's having a terrible year. I think he's only supposed to get only 600 yards receiving this year, when last year he had over 1,000 yards receiving and over 100 receptions. Now this year he's doing terrible, but he's out this game, so they're gonna need more. They're gonna need Downs and Antonio Pierce. Pierce, the other wide receiver, they're going to need them to step it up for this game. And, the Colts will be out with their starting center and other injury. And their starting offensive tackle is questionable with a concussion. So keep an eye out. Another beat up. These teams are just beat up, as you can see. The Bills have covered the spread of their last 3 games, and they're 5-4 against the spread in general. And the Colts have won 4 of their last 5 games against AFC East teams. So with all that being said, the Buffalo Bills, they squeaked out a winner against the Miami Dolphins. The Colts are not looking so great, especially since they barely put up a fight against the Vikings. And both these teams have injury problems. Both these teams are a bit beat up going into this game. So with that being said, I think the under is the best play here. I just think one of these teams are going to win 24-20 or 27-20. I think it's going to be around that range. But I think that's the best bet here with all the injuries. Bills having a good secondary. And Colts are not too shabby in the run, so stopping the run, that is. So I think it's gonna be a mixed bag, but I don't see this a high-scoring game. I just can't see it whatsoever. So give me the under 47.5 in the Bills and Colts game.